Say name?
Alexander Robson.
There we go. Okay. It's going to be a short interview.
Yeah.
I don't need long answers. You don't need to elaborate too much. If I need more, then I'll just ask you. First question. How was it growing up in South Africa with ADHD in school?
It was challenging. It was definitely challenging having ADHD. I was medicated though from a very young age, so that helped a lot. However, the medication had side effects, negative side effects. So I would say it was difficult. Yeah.
At what age did you start taking medication?
When I was in grade 1, so I may have been 6 or 7 years old.
Do you feel that in any parts of school that you used or could have used your ADHD to benefit or work harder than others in certain areas?
Yes, my hyperfixation on certain subjects and topics such as maths definitely helped me throughout high school, I'd say.
Okay, and how old were you when you had your first relationship?
19.
19. Okay. No, I was 18.
Yeah.
And how did ADHD affect your relationship in the way that you processed the love and affection, and what parts of it felt weird or hard to understand?
I think that ADHD definitely made it a bit difficult in certain aspects. So sometimes I would be, I guess, a bit inconsiderate of certain feelings or things that were said because I didn't fully understand it, or I couldn't filter it properly, and I'd say things which would hurt people. So that's what impacted my relationship. And then also having ADHD, the medication also impacted my relationship because my medication makes me more antisocial. So there were times during my relationship where I was like, oh, I actually don't want to be near anyone or near this person, even though I love them. Yeah.
And it's hard to tell them how you feel.
Yeah, it's hard to explain that it's just chemical reactions.
Yeah. Do you feel that you can use your ADHD in the workplace to be able to work, if not the same, maybe harder than others, if you go into something that you feel a love for,
yes,
for example, scripting?
If I go into something I really enjoy, like scripting or coding, I will definitely exceed. I think I will excel in that area.
Because of your hyperfixation.
Yeah, hyperfixation, hyper interest in it, and just hyper attention towards it.
I think that's all I need to ask.
Emily White.
Ga jy net 'n paar vrae vra? Geen baie wees nie. Die kort die lang antwoorde nie. Antwoord net soos wat jy voel die beste is en wat eers kom na jou kop toe. Ek glo ek het jou al gesê wat my projek oor gaan. Nee, het ek al? Ja, okay. Okay. Eerste vraag. Hoe voel jy affekteer ADHD 'n verhouding met ons verhouding?
Okay, so natuurlijk het ADHD 'n paar obstacles in ons verhouding al gebring waardeur ons moet werk, maar omdat ons altyd willig is om daaraan te werk, het ons altyd die obstacles gewerk, en ek voel dat ADHD maak nie die persoon wie jy is nie. Natuurlijk het dit 'n paar goed wat bydra tot jou nie persoonlikheid nie, maar hoe jy optree. Maar persoonlik voel ek dit het nie 'n negatiewe impak op ons verhouding nie. Dit maak eintlik net die verhouding sterker, omdat daar soos goed is waardeur jy werk en mekaar beter leer ken. So ja.
Ja, goeie antwoord. Voel jy Voel jy dat dit moeiliker is om met iemand met ADHD te wees as iemand sonder dit?
Natuurlijk is dit nie moeiliker nie, ek sal nie sê moeiliker nie, maar jy moet definitief om in 'n verhouding te wees met 'n persoon met ADHD, moet jy as persoon ook willing wees om meer te leer van die persoon, sodat jy kan verstaan of beter verstaan hoe daai persoon voel. Maar soos ek sê, natuurlijk het dit 'n paar ander perspektiewe by die verhouding gesit waardeur jy moes kyk. So ja, soos ek sê, ek sal nie sê dis moeiliker nie, maar dit sit 'n bietjie meer op die verhouding waarna jy moet kyk. So ja.
Okay, ek het nog net 2 vrae vir jou. Nadat jy geleer het en agtergekom het hoe mense lyk en aangaan wat ADHD het jy al agtergekom dat dalk kinders was in skool wat dit gehaat het en dat jy kon sien dat hulle dalk gesukkel het daarmee of dalk gethrive het met dit? As nie, kan jy ook net sê.
Thrive.
Soos beter doen, soos Alex het verskriklik goed gedoen in coding en goed, omdat dit sy hyperfixation fokus daarop en dan doen hy baie beter daarin.
So, natuurlik het ek al agtergekom, sekere mense het dieselfde patrone wat mense het met ADHD. Maar dis waar wat jy sê, sodra iemand met ADHD iets vind waarvan hulle hou, ek het dit al in jou ook gesien, dan jy tree nie vinniger op nie, maar mens kan sien jy funksioneer optimaal in daai posisie wanneer jy besig is met waarvan jy soos hou. Maar ek weet ook daar is sekere leerders met ADHD op skool wat nie noodwendig van daai skoolwerk hou nie en dis kom dit lyk as vir 'n sukkel en met die fokus waarmee hulle sukkel en ongelukkig word nie almal gediagnoseer nie. So baie mense gaan deur skool, dink hulle is nie goed met skool nie, maar eintlik het hulle net nie gevind waarop hulle eintlik van hou en om op te fokus nie.
Okay, ek het nog baie meer de mekaar vrae vir jou laaste een. Nie de mekaar, maar 'n bietjie moeiliker. Of wat dink jy is een van die groot redes dat mense met ADHD so sukkel in verhoudings en hoekom verhoudings gewoonlik nie werk met mense wat ADHD het nie? Hoekom voel jy meeste verhoudings soos dit net geflop? Hoekom voel jy so? Dat is so is.
In alle eerlikheid voel ek verhoudings waar die een individu ADHD het, is dit nie daai persoon se skuld hoekom die verhouding nie uitwerk nie, want as die ander individu wat saam met daai persoon in 'n verhouding is, moet jy bereid wees om meer te leer oor die persoon en te leer hoe compensate jy vir, nie compensate nie, maar hoe hanteer jy die situasie, soos wat ek en jou al baie keer geleer het, soos hoe om soos deur iets te werk. So ek voel soos baie mense sal obviously die persoon met ADHD blameer vir paar soos obstacles of stryery in die verhouding. Maar ek dink 'n groot rede hoekom dit nie uitwerk is nie, want ek weet mense met ADHD sukkel soms om hulle emosies uit te beeld, as ek dit so kan sê, en daar's net sekere patrone wat jy nie kan beheer nie. Dis fisies, jy kan nie dit beheer nie. Maar soos ek sê, ek voel meeste verhoudings wat nie werk waar die een persoon ADHD het nie, is omdat hulle nie saamgewerk het as een om die probleem, en ADHD is nie die probleem nie, die probleem is hoofsaaklik net hoe hanteer jy dit? Soos
jy sê basies dat die ander kant, die persoon wat nou nie het, die maak gewoonlik nie genoeg effort nie.
Ja.
En dan werk het nie.
Ja, maar ek voel ook soos soos wat ek in 'n verhouding is, ek leer oor hoe kan ek situasies beter hanteer met jou ADHD, is jy ook bereid om dit te doen. Maar ek voel dat daar so baie groot miskonsepsie wat saam met ADHD is, en omdat daai miskonsepsie daar is, weet mens nie werklik hoe daai persoon is nie. So ek voel dit is van albei partye, dis nie 'n verantwoordelikheid nie, maar albei moet verduidelik hoe hulle dit ervaar en beleef, sodat hulle saam kan uitvind hoe hanteer ons hierdie situasies, wat kan ek hier vir jou doen en wat kan jy as persoon met ADHD doen om of meer vir my of te cater, as ek dit so kan sê. So ja, basies kom die antwoord neer op mense wat in 'n verhouding is met iemand met ADHD. As dit nie uitwerk het nie, dink ek hoofsaaklik dit is omdat julle nie saam gesit het en meer geleer het oor die persoon met ADHD nie, en dat die ADHD persoon ook moet kommunikeer aan die ander party hoe dit hulle affekteer en wat hulle sal verkies, en dan moet julle saamwerk in die probleem.
Probeer stil sit. Okay, naam van
James Hallam Jooste.
Okay, my game soos jy weet gaan oor ADHD en het multiple perspectives, so ek gaan jy net 3 of 4 vra jy hoef nie lang antwoorde te gee nie. Dis nie half super elaborate daarop. Dis net half give me your answer soos wat jy voel dit vir jou experience was.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Hoe voel jy op jou jong ouderdom affekteer ADHD 'n verhouding soos wat jy nou is? Is dit moeiliker of voel dit net normaal?
Ek dink dit maak dit moeiliker, maar die rede waarom dit moeiliker maak is nie wat mense sal dink, want meeste mense dink of baie mense dink dat ADHD is net dat jy hyper is. Dat jy hyper is, jy kan nie jouself control nie. Dis nie regtig wat dit is nie. Dit maak mense ook baie only forgetful nie. Dit maak mense net dat jy fokus nie altyd op alles wat jy doen nie. So kom ons sê jy is in 'n middel van 'n gesprek en iemand sê iets, dan sal jou brein heeltemal uitsny. Jy sal nie daai ding hoor, jy is gefokus op iets anders. Dan sal hulle miskien kom sê kwaad raak vir jou, want jy het nie geluister na hulle nie, maar jy kan dit letterlik nie control nie.
Ja.
Dis half ding wat net heeltemal uit jou control uit. En dit kan ook jou affekteer, want dis net half baie mense verstaan nie dat dit half letterlik basies onmoontlik is om te weg te hou. Jy is altyd so, soos en jy sal besig wees om te praat en so, kyk nie, maar blommetjies of iets is dit. En dan sal hulle sê, hoekom het jy nie dit gevoel, maar jy kan letterlik nie op dit fokus nie. Dis moeilik, ja.
Hoe was dit vir jou in skool met ADHD?
Dis moeilik om te sê, want daar's baie goed wat ADHD geaffekteer is, want ADHD het gemaak dat half ek probeer so hard as moontlik om te fokus, maar al wat ek doen, ek kan nie fokus nie. Ek kan letterlik nie op een ding fokus nie, want ek het ADHD, maar ek is nie baie hyper nie. Ek is nogal kalmeer, maar so ek was nooit in skool so met die juffrouens nooit op my geraas of die juffrouens nooit gesê dat ek te hard is of ietsie, maar ek kon nooit fokus nie. So ek sou probeer werk doen. Dis ook soos hierso nou, as ek probeer huiswerk doen, dan word ek heeltemal sidetrack op iets anders, want ek het begin om sê 'n paper airplane te vou, dan wil ek nou heeltyd dit doen, dan sê ek, terug werk toe gaan, maar dan doen jy weer iets anders, en dan word jy sidetrack en jy weer terug gaan. So, dis moeilik om gefokus te bly. Dit was my grootste probleem met ADHD, is dat ek kon net nie op die skoolwerk fokus nie. Ja, ek dink dit het meestal my skool geaffekteer, ja.
Okay, laaste vraag. Hoe voel jy, kan jy ADHD gebruik om te kan exceed wat ander mense nie kan nie? Soos half dalk beter wees as hulle, in a non-cocky way, no? Maar soos half beter wees as hulle in iets deur om te hyperfixate byvoorbeeld.
Dis weer, want dis net half ons sien die wêreld in 'n basiese ander manier. So ek weet nie om te sê nie. Dis half want dis weird om dit vir mense te beskryf wat nie ADHD het nie, maar as jy in 'n kamer is vol mense, dan kan jy half alles volg. Dis weird om te verduidelik, want as ek in 'n kamer is of 'n restaurant is, dan kan ek na al die gesprekke wat rondom my aangaan luister, en ek hoor en ek verstaan wat aangaan, en dan sit so veel inligting, dan is dit al baie overwhelming, ja. Dit's baie overwhelming as mens daar so is. En dan so mens kan heeltemal op die wêreld rondom mens soos in heeltemal anders sien. Dus ek weet nie hoe om dit heeltemal te verduidelik nie, maar kan goed jy kan goed sien wat nie ander mense kan sien. Jy kan voel hoor aan die ander kant van die huis terwyl jy in jou kantoor sit en probeer werk doen. Jy kan dis baie moeilik om te verduidelik.
Dat is goed. Okay, dankie. Daar was nou nie lankies, daar name and surname.
Marie Jooste.
Okay, I'm not going to ask a lot of questions. Give me short but elaborate answers. Doesn't need to be that long. Yeah. How was school, in your opinion, with your ADHD? Difficulties and strengths.
Okay, difficulties. Obviously, as like everyone knows, it's struggling with keeping attention, and I would usually be drawing because I'm not interested enough in the work, or the work is just not, the teacher isn't presenting it correctly. So I'll draw in class, or I'll and then I'll fall behind because I wasn't paying attention. But if I try not to draw and pay attention, I'm staring at the wall or out of the window because I can physically not pay attention if I'm not on the meds or something. With the meds, it does help a bit. Honestly, for me personally, it doesn't completely fix it. It's probably the dose or whatever. Whatever. Some things that I feel it might have helped me with is I think you can work it into my creativity, because I can easily come up with ideas of what to do, what to draw, what to say, what to this and this and this. And also have a large spectrum of interests and hobbies that I've gained over the time due to my ADHD, like trying to get new things to keep myself occupied with. I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, that's good. How were relationships with boyfriends / girlfriends or whatever while growing up and having ADHD whilst that person didn't know how to do?
It's actually so perfect because I was at my boyfriend this holiday, and for me later in the day around 5 or 6 my ADHD would usually spike for a while, and I'll get like a burst of energy, and I'll just want to like do stuff. I'd want to do stuff.
Lekker flip.
Okay, cool. And we usually were laying at the TV watching shows, and I'd start like tapping on the bed or against the wall. And later on, there was one time where I took his hand and I was like cupping it against the bed, not hard or anything, just like tapping it against the bed. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I just need to get some energy out." And I think I'm very lucky because he later on, when he noticed throughout the day that I got energy, he would like give me his arm and stuff so I can tap it on the bed. So for me personally, since it's my first like proper relationship where I actually do deeply care about the person, I'm very lucky to have someone that doesn't necessarily have ADHD but understands it enough to be able to tolerate.
So he makes effort.
He makes effort to, even if he doesn't understand, he makes effort to accommodate me and just help me in any way.
Yeah, that was it. What was the other question I wanted to ask? How was growing up in the house for you with ADHD and just in general? Yeah.
Personally, I've from a young age, since my ADHD really started kicking in, I've taught myself to conceal it very well or keep it low key. So for me, sometimes I get bursts where I have to jump around or whatever, but I can get by with just playing with my hands and stuff like that. So it hasn't been too much of an issue because that's actually one of the biggest reasons why I grow out my nails, is so that I can like dig under my nails or play with my nails in some way. So I'm constantly have something to do, so it doesn't really impact my day-to-day life as much, except for in school obviously it might be a bit of an issue. And at home, because I've taught myself to quote unquote conceal my ADHD, I'm not loud, I don't throw things around or jump around or stuff like that. So I usually, what helps me with my ADHD is I just lie on my bed on my phone, because then I'm quiet and my mind is being stimulated by whatever's going on my phone.
Yeah, that's good. Last question. How do you think ADHD can be used to go into specific fields or in the workspace where you feel you can hyperfixate and excel?
I think anything
with projects where you have to come up with like original ideas and solutions for any problems or suggestions that are given. Because your brain is working so fast, you can think of like 20 things, and not all of them will necessarily be helpful, but it's 20 ideas. And if you are working in a group, sometimes it can be a bit frustrating, but if you're with people that understand you, it can be even better, because you can be like, yo guys, just hear me out, and it could make the whole process go a lot faster, or it can just cut out the order. Workspace. Yeah, I think it's just because you have so much like energy, physically and like mentally in your head. You've got like so much going on. You can and if you really focus on the task at hand, you can get it done easily and quick and well.
So you feel that if it's something that you have a high interest in, that you can be that you can use your creativity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if like someone told me I have to design a character, an original character, I deeply enjoy art, and because my brain can come up with like 20 ideas right now, I can get you like 5 characters and it'll be good and I'll be proud of it and it'll be quick. So I think having whatever work you're doing be a part of your interest as well will also 100% help a lot.
That was really good.
I know, I was...
We try to keep it short. Yeah, so it's not that much work for me.
Me being a detailed person, that's going to be easy.
Okay, the first question, jumping right into it. How was it raising 3 children with ADHD in their own different way?
Very difficult.
Can Vicky elaborate? Like one main point with me, one main point with Marie, one main point with James of what was difficult.
I think you have to start at the beginning, when you realize and find out they have ADHD. Letting go of all your preconceived ideas of what it will be like to raise kids, your expectations for them, how you think what life will be like for them. You have to let go of that completely. And you have to trust yourself and your child. You have to follow their lead because they're the one with the disease you don't understand. And still try to guide them into a world that they really don't understand. It was more difficult with you because it was more extreme, it was more vocal, it was more out there. With Marie, it was, the world just knocked her down. So picking her up all the time, being there with her, supporting her for being different. And by the time it was James, I was waxed and it was easier. And because I knew better, it was easier for him as well to understand himself, because I could explain to him why he finds normal things that normal kids enjoy and how they interact and all of that. I could explain to him why he didn't experience it that way. With you, it was tough because you were my first child. And with you, especially because of the extremity and your impulsivity. And also because you're very hard-headed. You would not change, conform, submit to anything that I suggested, or you wouldn't listen to my guidance. So we bumped heads heavily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, second question. Goeie antwoord. Second question. How was the relationship with my father getting into it with his ADHD and growing up with it and getting older with each other with ADHD? Were there any compromises, anything different to having a normal relationship when being with someone who has ADHD?
Heck yes. It is. We knew each other a very long time before we got married, and so we were friends for a very long time. So there wasn't that pressure for it to be perfect. So if there was a blow up or whatever, we would just walk away. But once you're married to that person, I think what you learn in time, the most important thing is understanding that person. But yeah, he withdraws. He doesn't understand the normal social interaction stuff things that normal people do. He's an absolute one-on-one person. So yeah, I had to compromise a lot of social interaction because it makes no sense to him. And I had to understand that he has his own time, he has his own way, he doesn't compromise, he can't conform. So understanding is the most important thing, and it was tough. But because I also come from an ADHD background, again, there was the understanding, which makes it, if you understand something, it's easier for you to work with it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that was a wonderful answer. Last question, directed to me, obviously. How did you figure out that I had ADHD? What made you go to the doctor to find out, or did you find out without expecting to find out?
It was a team effort. When your kids are small, they go for swimming lessons and they start going to play school. And so how I actually found out with you, it's very interesting. You did swimming lessons. And the guy's an expert. He's an Olympic swimmer. And he said to me, your son has very low muscle tone. You have to get him to occupational therapy. And we started with occupational therapy. And in that, we discovered that it was ADHD. She never mentioned it. She never mentioned the word ADHD. But she said to me, your child is different and he will always be different. And but wait until the school tells you. So when you were in grade 1, in the first term, the teacher called me in and she said, we have a problem. And that's, luckily we were in Cape Town, lots of specialists, and they could immediately refer me to Dr. White, who himself is, I think, one of the most severe cases I've ever seen. So there was a lot of understanding, and with his guidance, yeah. So it was a team effort.
One more question. How was going through school with the children with ADHD, like individually?
Oh, again, you have to, everybody has ADHD, but everybody is different. The expectation of you as a parent is different. There's a lot of pride involved because they don't want to be different. They want to conform. They want to fit in. They want to be able to get good marks and read boring books, but they're not capable of it. So with you, there was a lot of involvement with me because we have a very open relationship, and you were not too proud to say, I need help with something. So with the other two, it's different. They're very proud. They keep it to themselves. They struggle through it alone. So it depends on your child. But it's very difficult for a child with ADHD to go to a normal school. When you were diagnosed, they said that you would never be able to attend normal school. And there comes in your stubbornness. And you said, oh yes, I will. So you finished school at the age of 17 in a normal school, which was amazing, which just shows you the determination that you have, which is in your character. And obviously it was a team effort. But I still have to get the last 2 through school.
All right. That was wonderful. Thank you. Name and surname.
Leon Jooste.
I'm only going to ask a few questions. no need for long answers. It can be short, but well structured. Okay. First question: how was it growing up in your time with ADHD before it was seen as a problem that children could have?
Well, I don't think anybody knew what it was, so it wasn't officially diagnosed. So back then, most kids ended up in some special class or something, where they usually just had ADHD. So it was completely ignored. So schools didn't know, teachers didn't know, and parents didn't know, and doctors didn't know. So so it was in a way normal, because it did not have a name or a label.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
How did you experience relationships growing up and getting older with ADHD and knowing you're not the same as everyone else?
Relationships with anybody or
romantic relationships?
Oh, yeah. I think I was fairly lucky. I quickly, people learn how to manage ADHD. Some people learn earlier and some take longer. I think I learned fairly early. So I should probably give you a list of girlfriends that you go and interview. But I think in my case, I wasn't as impulsive. I think that's a problem in relationships. So with my type of ADHD, I'm not that impulsive, especially emotionally. So I was lucky. I was emotionally mature fairly early, so that helped me.
Yeah, wonderful. How do you believe ADHD can be used in the workspace to be better or equally perform others that don't have it? And
so I think it's if anything, I think it's an advantage. I think people with ADHD must be placed appropriately within a working environment because of ADHD, and so I don't see it as any stumbling block or any problem whatsoever, because what they can do is when they do get focused and they are not distracted, then they can focus more and better than anybody else can. So that actually makes them better. So it's up to employers to place them in a position where they will excel. Then they're going to be better.
Wonderful. And growing up, did you feel that you were an outcast and that you didn't fit in as well as you would today with the knowledge? It runs with question one, but I just want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, good, yeah. Actually reminds me, I think so a bit, yeah. So you're reminding me, I'm 53 now, so I can't remember those things anymore. But I think so, yeah. In hindsight, back then it probably didn't bother me that much, but I only became socially active much later in high school. So I never went out until I was in matric, and then only once or twice. So I preferred to spend time at home or with my parents rather than spending social time. And probably in hindsight because of that. So it didn't bother me too much because I was lucky. We lived on a farm and I enjoyed being on my quad bike on the farm with my Basset more than spending time with people. I always said I preferred animals to people, which is probably a bit silly. Probably because of ADHD.
How do you think it was? How were you treated by your parents when they noticed that something was, in quotations, off?
Yeah. I think, again, as we said earlier, they didn't know about any of these things, you know. So I think a misunderstanding, and back then, many people thought that people with ADHD were just lazy. Because often they could see it was somebody that was probably intelligent, so why weren't you doing as well at school as you should? It can only be because you are lazy, and it's not. So, but I was lucky. My parents were relaxed, so they were much like we are. They wanted for us to do as well as we can, but they never pushed us to achieve any particular marks or anything. So, and I think, I know, in fact, I know my father also had ADHD. And although obviously it was never diagnosed in his time, but I think he probably understood me better, even because he was the same. So I was not under pressure from them to do more than I could, which helped me, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.